I weigh 123 kilos. That's roughly 270 pounds. Welcome to Life by Design. My name is Erin. Let's get into it. Yes, I weigh 123 kilos. And I had to look up what that was in pounds because now that I live in Denmark, I really don't use the imperial system at all. I am very much a metric convert. So, now, to be fair, I took this on Wednesday, which is yesterday. And it's the second day of my period. So I will weigh a little bit more than expected, but still I don't think it's going to change that much. And the last time I checked my weight was in January, where I was 113 kilos, I believe, from what I can remember. And I'm a semi-active person. I watch what I eat. I walk at least 5 kilometers a day. I don't know how many miles that is. I think it's 2. Don't come at me. I strength train for a minimum of 4 times a week. And yet I gained 10 kilos in 3 months. So something is not working. And I don't want to weigh 123 kilos. I don't want to be this heavy. I mean, I love the way I look. I do. I like my curves. I like my weight. I like my hips. I like my thighs. I have no problem being called thunder thighs. I will call myself thunder thighs, whatever. But I don't want to be this heavy. I'm starting to get really achy when I wake up in the morning, and sometimes when I play with my kids, they are going to be 10 and 7. I get winded and I really don't want to. I don't want to play soccer or football as they call it over here. But I don't want to be this heavy where I don't feel healthy. And that's my thing. I want to feel healthy and I don't. I like the way I look, but I don't feel healthy. I don't want to hop on the latest keto trend or HIIT cardio or CrossFit thing, or the whole 30 or something, anything that's being over-marketed today by influencers and companies. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want a quick weight loss. I do not want to lose, 5 kilos in a week. I've been yo-yo dieting and spiraling all my life, up and down, up and down, up and down. Lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, gain weight. I'm tired of it. I want a healthy weight loss that I can sustain for the rest of my life, that makes me feel healthy, active, and even sexier than I feel now. You can be a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time. I have a target weight goal of 85 kilos, which is about 185 pounds, give or take. And I'm decently tall. I'm 5'8", which is 173 centimeters. And I have a very broad body type. I have broad shoulders. I have very wide hips. I have a very large rib cage. I'm just a broad person. So if I lose anything more than that, I will look like Skeletor. And I even talked to my doctor about this before I undertook this, just to make sure everything was okay. And she also agreed that 85 kilos is the best. Anything lower that is not healthy. Even though that whole BMI crap says I should be 65 kilos. Can you imagine me at 60? I can't imagine me at 65 kilos. No. And she was all on board in the way that I'm planning on losing weight. So at least it's doctor approved. What dog? Come here. Hi, Bobby. You say hi? You say hi? Oh, grandma. You're such a grandma. You are a grandma. So I have my target of 85 kilos. I want to be healthy, I want to be active, and I want to feel sexy. Perfect. But how the hell am I going to get there? There are 3 ways that I'm going to use to accomplish my goals, and they are doctor approved. So, and ADHD approved. They are through nutrition, fitness or movement, and tracking. First, let's take a deep dive into nutrition. This is the area where I probably will have the hardest time. I like food. I like good food. I like bread. I like cheese. And I'm an emotional eater. Combining that when I feel overwhelmed, I eat sour candy to bring me down to earth again, doesn't really help. And my kids aren't as adventurous right now. Like I said, they're 10 and 7, so they're pretty much chicken nuggets, spaghetti kind of kids, pizza. And when it comes to cooking, if I am mentally or physically exhausted, I do not want to cook. And I don't own a microwave, so I don't want to reheat something in the oven because I feel like it takes forever, and it really doesn't, but it feels like it takes forever. And I will just order something because I just don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with cooking for 2 hours unless it's for a special occasion. Then I have no problem, but on an everyday basis, I don't. And I have a food budget of 115 krones, which is $17, which I know is more than some people have in the States, but you got to remember that things in Denmark are a bit more expensive than they are in the States. But that food budget for, $17 or 115 krones is for one adult and 2 growing boys. I plan on doing this, figuring it out by meal planning. That way it takes like what's for dinner off my plate. But I am looking for the unicorn of all meal plans. It has to be family friendly. It has to be cheap. It has to be healthy. It has to include breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. Taste delicious, very enough that I or my kids won't get sick of it, and take it roughly less than 30 minutes to cook. But I have searched and searched and searched, and my unicorn meal plan does not exist. Won't lie, I cried a little bit. Cried a lot. I'm on my period. What do you expect? But then I do what I always do. When I can't find what I want in the world, I make it myself. Well, I'm in the process of making it myself. Because my meal plan is a little different, because I want to create a meal plan for an entire year and not just, for the next 30 days or the next 60 days. I don't want to be doing this every month. I have enough to do every month. I don't want to add it to my list of things to do. But essentially, it breaks down to that I have a nutrition goal for myself of about 1,800 to 2,000 calories. I did a calorie calculation, and I'm like 3,000 calories currently is to maintain my weight. So 2,000 is more than enough to lose some weight. I won't really be tracking my macros, protein, carbs, and fats, except for protein. That I will be tracking because that's more important to me than fats or carbs. Keto really screwed me over with the carb thing, and I'm trying to get back to a more healthy mindset. And the 1,800 to 2,000 calories is good enough, and I can always add extra for the boys. I'm not going to be taking anything away from them. They are not going on a diet. This is mainly for me. And I plan on meal prepping to make it a hell of a lot easier for me on a day-to-day basis. That's going to include like snacks and meals and sweets and everything. I'm not sure if I'm going to be I'm not sure if I'm going to be meal prepping on a weekly or monthly basis or both. I think I can do both, but I need more freezer space and more fridge space if I'm going to be meal prepping, which means I'm going to need to buy another fridge because the one I have is really tiny fridge. And another thing I'm going to be doing that has worked for me before is no going back for seconds. That has worked wonders for me in the past, and I'm going to go back to it because it works so well. And I have a tendency to overeat, especially when I'm upset or when someone else makes me food. I'm going to be going more into detail about my meal plan when I make the video detailing how I'm creating this. Fitness is the next part, and fitness is, I have one major goal, and that is to move every day. I'm going to get at least a minimum of a 5-kilometer walk in every day. I have a step goal of about 8,000. Easier now to get in the 5 kilometers than it was in like January, because the weather is nice now in Denmark when it's not overcast and cold and windy and drizzling whenever it feels like. And I plan to continue to strength train to build muscle, and I am going to add in mobility training to kind of keep everything moving smoother. So basically stuff that I have been doing, but I have been experimenting since last summer when I was diagnosed with ADHD to try to trick my brain a lot. A lot. For example, I cannot have days off when I work out, I've realized, because if I have a rest day, I will lose motivation and end up not working. When I look back at my workouts that I have tracked, usually Thursday is where I lose it. I either don't want to do it Thursday, and then I don't do it the rest of the week. Because I'll have Thursday off, and then I'll go, on Friday, and it never happens. So I'm not going to give myself a day off. I have set strength train routines for 5 days, and then the other 2 days will be mobility and yoga routines. And I'm also throwing in splits because I've always wanted to do the splits, but I've never been able to. So why not? I'm 35. Let's learn how to do the splits. I think doing it that way will help build it as a daily habit that I just do. I just brush my teeth, I wash my face, I do my skincare. So this is just going to be built in as a habit like that. And I will not be doing CrossFit or HIIT or any of those workouts, because when I do HIIT workouts, I catch a cold. Every single time I have done a HIIT workout, I catch a cold. The next day I am I've caught a cold and I'm out for 3 or 4 days. I have no idea why. That's how my body just doesn't like HIIT. So I'm not going to do it. I like strength training. I like my mobility. I like yoga. I'm using this year 1 training program by, I can't remember his name. I want to say Steve something. I'm going to link it down below. Don't worry. I also have a tendency to rebel. So when his program says I need to do abs on Wednesday, butt on Thursday, arms on Friday, I will be like, oh hell no. No, don't tell me that. I'm an Aries. I just naturally rebel. Surprisingly, I'm not like this with food. With food, I like to have it predetermined, so I know I'm having that today, and I'm okay with it. But with certain things like workouts, I can't. Nope, don't tell me. Don't tell me what to do with my body. And on the other hand, if there is just all the workouts in front of me and say, pick what you feel like doing, I will freeze. I'm overcome with choice paralysis. I just can't do it. My brain is a lovely piece of hell. Yes, it is. So in order to compensate and combat my self-sabotage, I have labeled my workouts from 1 to 5, and I roll a dice, and whatever number it lands on is the workout I do. It's a gamification bit, which also helps my brain. And I'm playing with the clothespin. I have to have something in my hands when I talk. Screwed up right here. Screwed up, just completely screwed. But my biggest challenge is going to be my menstrual cycle, because that's a beast. She's a beast. For example, the first 2 to 3 days of my menstrual cycle, I'm a heavy bleeder and I'm utterly exhausted. This last period has hit me really hard. It's only on day 4 where I actually have energy again to move and function like a normal human being. The week up to my period, I overeat because I'm craving. I'm constantly hungry, and I want salt and I want sweet or sour. or the combination, to be honest. I'm a depressed sloth, basically, those first 2 days, 3 days sometimes. I'm still figuring out how to combat this. I know menopause would help, but sadly they won't remove my ovaries. Actually, this leads me into the next part. I'm going to be tracking like everything because I like data. I like data a lot. I'm a data nerd. So to help combat my menstrual cycle, I'm going to be deep diving and deep tracking my menstrual cycle and my energy levels and everything, and symptoms and all of that for my menstrual cycle. I have a Garmin watch, so that'll be tracking my steps, my heart rate, my calories, everything there. I will be using FitnessPal to track my calorie intake. I bought a Huawei, I hope I'm saying that right, scale that kind of tells me body mass index and everything. And I kind of combine all of this into Google Fit. So Google Fit and Notion are going to be the two places that kind of combine all of this information. I have an entire health and fitness section in my Notion. Doing all of this is not to just lose 38 kilos. It's not just to get to that goal weight. It's to change my life. It's to change how I approach food, how I approach fitness, and how I approach my general health. It's to change my mind and movements in accordance to my will. It is a life by design. Weight loss is not about a diet or a trend. It's about a mindset and a lifestyle. And this is life by design, not by default. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I post every Friday, so you're welcome to come back. Just hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next week. Hi.